There's a moment near the end of a first date where a woman decides, all to herself, whether there's going to be a second one. And what most men never clock is that by the time that moment rolls around, she's already decided. It wasn't your job that did it. It wasn't your jawline. It was a handful of little things you did all night without ever making a thing of them. I've been a matchmaker for over a dozen years, and I've had thousands of women hop on a video call with me the day after a date and tell me in detail exactly why they did or didn't want to see the guy again, despite the fact I thought it was a great match and wanted them to so badly. Believe me, gentlemen, I've heard it all. Every excuse, I swear the date went great, I have no idea what happened, and I'm going to give it to you straight with love, because clearly somebody has to. And it's almost never the big stuff. Not the car or the muscles or the wallet. It's 7 things. 7 completely learnable things that men who get the second date do, and the men who don't somehow never get around to. The good part, if you're a man, is that not one of these takes being rich or tall or born charming. Every single one is a choice that you can make on your very next date. So let's go through them one at a time. If that sounds at all interesting, I hope you'll stick around because that's what's on the agenda.
Here's some real advice for your dating life. Coffee with Carey. Coffee with Carey.
Good manners. I know, it sounds almost too old-fashioned and too simple to really matter anymore. But it's the first thing she notices and one of the last things she'll forget. And it starts before the date even happens. The day before, he sends a little text, right? He says, we still on for tomorrow? I'm really looking forward to it. And you have no idea what that one message does. It saves her hours of quietly wondering whether she's about to get stood up, whether she should even bother washing her hair, whether this guy even remembers her name. That single text tells her that she's dealing with a man, not a maybe. Then he shows up when he said he would. He's got the small graces, right? He stands up when she walks in and he gets the door. He says please and thank you, and not just to her, to people, and he actually means it. And the reason it hits so hard is that the bar out there right now is so low you could trip over it walking to your car. Half the men she's gone out with treat what time like a state secret. Or he goes radio silent for 4 days after she says yes. Then he'll surface at 5:40 the night of the date with a, hey, we're still on? Like he's been holding out for a better offer right up until the buzzer, and she won by default. By the time he finally rolls in 20 minutes late and scrolling his phone, she's already worn out. And fellas, I've heard about this exact guy 1,000 times, and it really just kills me because it's so easy to not be him. So when a man simply confirms the plan and shows up like a grown-up, he doesn't look average. He looks rare. Manners are not stuffy, and they aren't fake. They're the first proof that you're reliable and that you respect her time. So confirm the plan. Show up and do those little things, the small graces. It costs you absolutely nothing, and it sets the tone for everything that comes after. I was born with the gift of gab, and I don't mind talking about it. It's just so silly. I was getting the same note on report cards since 1972. Carey would be a great student if only she didn't talk so much. Well, I never stopped talking. I just started getting paid for it. Conversation is a skill, and like most skills, it can be learned. The poker face, the 60-40 rule, follow-up questions, which are basically first date gold, the magic segue. I built an entire chapter just on date conversations. Be Your Own Matchmaker gives you an actual framework and step-by-step directions to guide you through the entire dating process. Everything you need to get out of your own way, stop repeating the same patterns, and learn to be your very own matchmaker. Turns out disturbing others is worth over $25,000. The link to my masterclass is in the description down below. And now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. He's a glass half full kind of guy, and it's all over him from the second she sees him. He smiles really easily and for real, not that tight little nervous one, and he laughs without being prompted at her joke maybe, at himself, at the dog across the street. He notices things and points them out. He's got that rare quality of a man who genuinely seems glad to be alive, and it's contagious from clear across the room. Trust me on this. He's just happy to be there, and he lets it show. You want to know how powerful this actually is? Let's think about what the opposite man is doing somewhere across town that very same night. He's turning his first date into a customer complaint hotline. The traffic was a nightmare. The parking's a racket. His back's been killing him all day. His ex took the good blender, so there was no smoothie this morning. 45 minutes with that guy, and she feels like she needs a nap and a glass of wine just to recover. It's excruciating. But the upbeat man, she walks away from him feeling lighter than when she even sat down, and that feeling is a little bit addictive. She doesn't fully realize it, but what she's thinking is, I want more of that. And that is you. So bring the good mood. You don't have to be a clown or perform happiness you don't actually feel. Just be a man who's genuinely glad to be sitting across from her, and don't hide it behind a list of complaints. Your mood is contagious. Be sure the one that you're handing her is worth catching. He's easy to talk to. Not slick, not rehearsed or running lines he found on the internet. Just easy. The conversation rolls and it flows, and he's not white-knuckling the whole time, hunting for the next question to ask or the next thing to say. And the secret to it isn't being a great talker. It's being genuinely curious. He's not interviewing off a checklist, and he's not delivering a one-man show about himself either. Or jazz hands. He tells a story, and then she tells one back, and then he catches a thread and actually pulls it. And wait, you lived in Alaska? How on earth did that happen? That's the whole magic trick right there. The follow-up question. It tells her he was actually listening, that he finds her interesting, that this is a real conversation and not just two people taking turns waiting to talk. Because trust me, she's been stuck on both of the bad versions of that date. There's the interview, so what do? Oh, nice. Got any brothers and sisters? Where every answer she gives drops to the floor with a little thud while he reloads the next question off his list. And then there's the monologue, right? The guy 40 minutes deep into the director's cut of his fantasy football season who hasn't even once asked her a single thing. And a man who's truly interested in her is so much rarer and so much more attractive. Almost nobody just gets curious about the person in front of them. So be that guy, be that man. Listen and find the interesting thread and ask the second question and then the third. You will be amazed at how attractive it is to her simply to feel genuinely seen. Let me tell you the one that women bring up to me more than just about anything else. And it's never the one men expect to be like top of the list. It isn't how he treated her. It's how he treated everybody else. I mean, he's respectful of her, sure. But the real tell is that he's just as decent to every other woman he crosses paths with all night long. They're walking into the museum and there's an older woman fighting with that, big heavy door, and he just gets it for her, barely even breaking the conversation. That's the way he moves, right? They pass a young mom trying to bump a stroller up over a curb, and he's already reaching out to lift it up on the other end. The woman selling tickets, the stranger who stops to ask for directions, whatever. He's just warm and decent and patient with all of them. And not because anybody's watching, but because that's who he is. And a woman clocks this instantly because she knows exactly what it means. How a man treats the women who can do nothing for him is the only honest preview she's going to get on how he'll treat her later, once the chase is over, once she's not the shiny new thing, once she's, just a person on an ordinary Tuesday. The man who's all warmth and charm to her face and then short and dismissive with everyone else, He just showed her the expiration date on the charm, whether he knows it or not. And she's seen the type before, Prince Charming to her, and then he snaps his fingers at a, teenager who's working the counter or talking down to somebody who's, just trying to be helpful. Every one of those little moments, she's filing away, quietly and permanently. So understand that she is watching how you treat the people that you're not trying to impress. That's the real you. And she's aware of that. And now you are too. He's generous, and not in a money way, in a spirit way. Whatever the two of them did, the round of mini golf or the little show, the 2 coffees they grabbed and walked around, he reaches for it easily, right? No theater, no running math behind his eyes. But the paying is the smallest part of it. He gives her the better seat, the one with the view, the clear view, or he gives her the last word in a friendly little argument instead of needing to have the last word and win. He gives her the benefit of the doubt when a story comes out sideways. The check is, just one piece of it. She can see that. The tip of a much bigger thing, though, which is a man who's instinctively taking care of somebody that he's with. And she's absolutely seen the opposite of this. The long, loaded pause when the check lands on the table. The squint at the total like it's a ransom note. Or the all-time spark killer, the Venmo request that shows up at 11:30 p.m. or the next morning for $11.50. You're half of the nachos. And before you decide I'm exaggerating for the camera here, I'm not. A woman told me that one herself. $11.50, little nacho emoji and everything, and I've never forgotten. I still think about it. But the thing men miss is that it was never about the money. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. She's reading the instinct, not the bank balance. So be generous in the small ways. Pick up what you can and do it with no performance. Because a man who gives easily is telling her something true about what life with him would feel like. At the end of the night, he does the bravest, simplest thing a man can do. He's just sincere. No game of any kind. And I don't mean he skips the hard-to-get routine. I mean he's not one of these guys who keeps a woman a little bit off balance on purpose because, somebody on the internet swore that's how you build attraction. No backhanded compliments. You're really pretty for somebody who, doesn't go to the gym. The little dig that leaves her wondering where she stands. Warm one minute, cold the next. I've watched grown men run this stuff on purpose, convinced it's, seductive and gentlemanly. I don't know. I'm telling you, with love, it is not. All it does is make her feel unsteady on her feet, and nobody falls for the person who, keeps moving the floor. With him, she's going to always know exactly where she stands. And that steadiness is the attractive thing, not the mystery, not knowing. And also, he's not weird at the goodbye either, which, believe me, is its own lost art. No awkward hover or surprise lunge, no shuffling his feet going, I guess if he felt a real connection and he'd like to kiss her, he does it like a gentleman. He might even ask if it's okay, or he leans in slow, and warm and leaves her all the room in the world to say no. A woman doesn't forget the man who made her feel completely safe and completely wanted in the very same moment. And he says the true thing right out loud. That was really fun. I'd love to do it again. Can I take you out next week? No fog, no maybes. And then the one that really seals it, shoot me a text when you get home so I know you made it home safely. That right there is a man already thinking about her well-being, not about whether he, is going to get laid next time or whatever. So when the night winds down, say what you actually feel and make sure she gets home safely. Clarity, it turns out, is one of the most attractive things on earth, and almost nobody has the nerve to use it. And then he does the thing that separates the men from the boys. He follows through. All of it. Sometimes it starts that very night when he gets home and fires off a quick one. Thank you for a really nice evening. Let's do this again soon. None of that famous 3-day wait so he doesn't look too eager. Gentlemen, can we finally put that 3-day rule in the ground? I've watched it kill more good matches than bad breath ever has. And when he sets up the next date, he gives it real lead time and a real plan, an actual date, an actual thing, not a we should, do something or hang out sometime, tossed out the car window. He follows through on the small stuff too. Remembers on the date when he said, oh, but there's a book that you have to read. And then, he couldn't think of the name of it to save his life. You know how that happens, don't you? He texted to her the next morning. That's amazing. He remembered. The restaurant he swore she'd love, whatever he said he'd send her, he just sends it. It sounds tiny, I know, but it isn't. It tells her that when this man says he's going to do something, he gets it done. And you would not believe how rare and attractive that one fact is. And the part that matters most, long after this first date, nothing changes. Whatever he was doing before he had her, he keeps right on doing it. The good morning text or the answering her within the hour stuff. None of it dries up the second he knows she's interested. The cadence holds. He's the same steady guy on Wednesday that he was on Saturday night because he was never performing. He genuinely likes her, and everything he does keeps lining up with that. And that right there is a man who's obviously not playing games. Because anybody can be charming for one evening, but the man who keeps showing up, keeps his word, and stays steady, he's the one she cancels her other options for. Eagerness, the honest kind, was never the weakness they told you it was. It's gorgeous, and it's rare, so be the man who means it and shows it. Not one thing on this list costs a dime or takes a single good gene. Everyone is just a grown man being glad to be there and unafraid to show it. And the truth is, you're not really competing with anybody. So let me leave you with the one thing I'm surest of after all these years. When a woman says a man was instantly attractive, she's almost never talking about his face. She's talking about this, the whole package of how he made her feel, from the confirmation text to the call the next day, present, positive, interested, respectful, generous, all of that. That's it. That's the whole ball game. And the irony is that it's almost funny. Everything a man gets told is going to make him more attractive, playing it cool, staying unavailable, keeping her guessing, is the exact stuff that quietly tanks it. Every single one of these is a choice. Not some gift you were either handed at birth or you weren't. You don't have to become a different man. You just have to decide to be this one. All right, I hope you found that interesting or helpful. If you did, you might want to check out this episode because YouTube said you would love it. And don't forget to give my mom there the thumbs up if you enjoyed the episode. Please subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you back here again soon. Until next time, have a good one.